Hi students, in this video I'm just going to give you an outline of how to do this week's assignment. I'm going to try and give you a model for how to do this assignment, this reading assignment. Sometimes students are a little unclear of the expectations of these assignments, so I just wanted to give you an example of how to go through this text and this assignment. The purpose of this reading assignment is to give you a chance to practice reading these texts critically. Reading the text critically and actively, not simply rushing through the text once, but reading the text thoroughly, perhaps even reading the text multiple times. And the reading assignment is supposed to be kind of a list of the basic information you want to have in your head to be thinking about. And so we begin with the genre. What's the genre of the text, or what type of text this is? Do not write historical and just kind of call it good. There are some historical texts in this class, or there are some texts in this class where historical will be the correct answer, but most of the time I'm looking for something more specific. In this case, it's a letter. The type of document that it is a letter, so I write letter here next to genre. Place and date of composition. Well, we have the date is 1571. The place isn't given to us, but this is part of your job in carrying out these reading assignments, is to kind of think about what's in the text. What can you infer from the text? This is a really important skill of a historian, to infer from the evidence, not just to need direct evidence to be kind of beaten over the head with the evidence. And so what is the most that we can say about this? We can say that it's Spanish territory, in the New World, or in the Americas. The name of the author, pretty straightforward. Again, it's given to you here, Alonso Ortiz. And the audience, so here we do the author and the audience. So this is Alonso Ortiz is the author, and he is writing to his wife. Background and perspective. Again, this is where it's very important for you to infer, to think about the background of Ortiz. What do we know about him? We know that he is a tanner. And we know that he has a business partner. And what else do we know? We know that he has, that he is writing from, just going to indent this to get everything lined up. Writing from the perspective of a Spanish settler, rather than a conqueror. It's not as though he's doing any fighting here. We can tell that that part is past, but what we can tell is that he's not been born in the New World. He's moved there and he's establishing himself there. Contemporary audience, the audience of the time. I kind of already jumped the gun on that in the first one, but the audience is the audience of the time. That's what contemporary means here. Oh, contemporary to the time when the source was written. The audience is his wife. What are some of the main themes in the text? Again, this is where you have to infer. I'm not going to go into a lot of details here, but what have we learned? We learned about health in the New World. He talks about his own health. He talks about his business in the New World. Those are, I think it's fair to say, the main themes. What are the locations that are mentioned? Now, I've picked kind of a short source, so you get the idea pretty quickly and you don't have to watch a long video. The locations that are mentioned: Castile, the Kingdom of Castile. I think that is the only one. But in a longer, more detailed source, you want to make sure you include all the locations mentioned in order to get full credit. events and dates that are referenced. He doesn't really reference any dates, but he references that he's been in the New World for a year. For at least a year. He is employing Native American and African workers. His business is growing. He hopes his wife will join him. And the last part, contemporary events that may have influenced this text. A lot of students tend to have difficulties with this part of the text for whatever reason. So it's very important that here again you infer and you connect to the material that we've been talking about over the course of the week. So here, what do we know is going on in 1571? We know that we're kind of second generation Spanish settlers in the New World. And we know that there is a decimation of the Native American population that's taking place. And that might explain why he has trouble finding what he refers to as Indian helpers, and how you start to see the emergence of what he refers to as black helpers. So I think the events that we would talk about, the contemporary events that are influencing this text, are Spanish settlement. So, I don't want it in bold necessarily. Well, here you go. Spanish settlement in the New World and the emergence of the Atlantic slave trade. And so there you go. Hasn't taken me a long time. Of course, I've done a lot of these, so it doesn't take me as long, and it's a short text. It will probably take most of you significantly longer than this, but it gives you an idea of what you need to be looking for. It gives you an idea how doing assignments like these, if you do them thoroughly, can give you a grounding to think about the text and the discussion of the text in more detail. So I hope it's helpful. And I'll see you soon.